And you've heard the recent warnings about what's being called a heroin crisis, a deadly batch containing fentanyl, even grabbing national headlines in the wake of actor Philip Seymour Hoffman's death. That's why there was a town hall meeting earlier tonight at North Hills Middle School, and I was there as the Pennsylvania Alliance for Safe and Drug-Free Children told the crowd about this serious problem. I sat with several dozen parents tonight who were looking for the latest information on heroin. Several speakers gave them good advice on how to spot possible drug activity in their homes. And I talked with Nicole Kurash of Gateway Rehab.
If you have a child that you recognize a drug problem, to get them treatment, this is the time now where we need to bring awareness to the fact that there's something that can be done.
We are here to let people know that this is killing our kids. It is ruining lives of our football stars, all the way down to our ballerinas, and we're fed up.
As you see, their parents came armed with signs and obviously a lot of passion. More than 20 people have died from that deadly batch of heroin in our area in just the past few weeks.
I am representing, actually I'm the president of Not One More in Pittsburgh. We are here to support the Alliance in the meeting that they're having today. We have some members coming from Sage's Army in the Westmoreland County area. What we are doing is fighting heroin abuse, and basically our motto is not one more overdose, lost spirit, grieving heart. We have several people in the area that died recently, affecting so many families, I think more than 2 dozen in our Pittsburgh area, and we are here to let people know that this is killing our kids. It is ruining lives of our football stars, all the way down to our ballerinas, and we're fed up and we're fighting back. So that's what this is about, and we're gonna come to every event that we can. Towards the spring, you'll see us in our larger numbers, but we will be here to stand up and save our children.
And what is the biggest misnomer about heroin addiction?
Biggest misnomer? That the kids with good grades are going to be the ones that are safe. That's a big misnomer. If somebody is standing up and saying, not my kid, they're going to be the ones that are the biggest fooled. That's what we need to get across to our people. We have a number of children that are addicted to heroin, can't go to their parents because they are those outstanding students who are stressing about their grades. A lot of these kids are in college. Their parents have no idea. They're working and are supporting their habits until it gets that bad. There's a lot of documentaries on the subject. They're very true to nature. People need to get educated, and that's what this is. This is a matter of life and death, and we just have nothing else that we can do but stand out at these events in the cold like this and tell people to pay attention. You know, get your kids to, know what it is to really be on heroin. Heroin equals death. And, I wish we had all of our signs here, but there is no doubt in my mind that everybody that would watch any newscast, sit and read any newspaper, they're being affected by heroin every day, and they don't even know it. And we're here to say that's enough.
How has that affected your life?
How has it affected my life? Both of my children have been on heroin. That's how it's affected my life. Now, I'm fortunate that I didn't lose my children. Most of the people I deal with on a daily basis, they've lost theirs. And there's nothing like losing your child and carrying him in a casket when you could have maybe saved them from anything in the first place. The schools need to get involved, and that's another reason why we're here. The schools need to take heed with the parents. They need to do drug testing before it takes over the school.
Right now in Western Pennsylvania, we have more people selling, buying, and using heroin than at any time in our lives, and we have thousands of families being devastated by it every day. It's being driven largely by this epidemic of prescription drug addiction, because at 95 to 99% of the new heroin users I see start with drugs like Oxycontin, hydrocodone, get hooked on those, can't obtain them or afford it, and switch to heroin. And heroin used to be just an inner city drug. Now it's in every city drug. It's in every little small town, community, rural area. It's everywhere. I guarantee you, for anyone listening to this broadcast, heroin is being used somewhere very close to where you are today. And it's very deadly. It's like 5 to 10 times more potent than it was back in the Woodstock era, and that's why we've seen a 400% or 500% rise in drug overdose deaths in Westmoreland County, combination of prescription drugs and heroin. The sad thing lately is we see this new batch of even a stronger type of heroin. Now, technically it's not heroin, it's a synthetic drug called fentanyl that's 70 to 100 times more powerful than morphine. When you put this into a bag of heroin, the bag can now be 10 to maybe 20 times stronger, and that's why a lot of more people are dying. I've talked to people who normally were using 7, 8 bags of heroin at once, who've used as little as 2 bags of the Theraflu, this fentanyl-laced heroin, and they've gone unconscious from it, and many have died.
What's the biggest misnomer about heroin addiction and use?
Well, I think the biggest misnomer is it can't happen to my family. It's just a drug of the inner city, of different type of people. This is in every community. In fact, the biggest growing group of new users we're seeing are more from the suburbs, upper middle class, mainly Caucasian, people of education, the children of education. We're also seeing people over age 40 and over age 50 getting involved with it through prescription medicines. So again, it's in every community.
And my last question: what's the message you're going to give tonight?
Well, we want to raise awareness that this is a problem. When we are naive, we become more vulnerable. We want people to be more on alert for this, and their children and their family members and their neighbors. If they see somebody they're concerned about, get help. For those of you who have a problem, get help now. You don't have to stay trapped in your nightmare of addiction. Treatment works, recovery works, and tomorrow may be too late, so get help today.
So obviously, I see the signs here. There's a lot of people in the auditorium. Tell me about the concern over heroin and the need for this meeting tonight.
Well, the concern is, the attention was brought from all of the overdoses, and now agencies like the Alliance Against Drugs, this is our time now to spread the education, to get people to understand that the prevention needs to start. If you have a child that you recognize a drug problem, to get them treatment. This is the time now where we need to bring awareness to the fact that there's something that can be done to fight the problem.
And I just listened to the speaker for a few minutes, and it's a big problem. It's not going away. Tell me more about it.
Yes, absolutely. It is the problem now with heroin and prescription drugs and illegal drugs in general is huge. It's been a problem in our area since the 90s, and now than ever. We have more kids using drugs than ever before. I work in a treatment facility at Gateway Rehab, and we have adolescents that come in on a daily basis that are using drugs that are killing them, and our job is to spread awareness to the fact that people need to know what to look for.
And obviously heroin is a big concern now. Tell me what it is about this that is kind of pulling these kids in.
The heroin that was concerned with the overdoses obviously was mixed with fentanyl, and that's the concern with the death. But the problem that we see a lot is kids use prescription drugs, and they are unaware of the fact that that leads to heroin use, and that's where we are concerned. Kids have access to prescription drugs through medicine cabinets. They get it legitimately through doctors and just aren't aware of the potency of it. And what happens is it's a very expensive habit. So the more that they use, the more that they can't afford the addiction, and then that's where the heroin play comes in.